Welcome to the Shekina Meditation Podcast, created by Shekina community members. Shekina communities are dedicated to creating free devotional spaces of Christian practice for spiritual seekers and travelers around the world. We post Christ-centered guided meditation each week to help you in your personal or small group practice. You can find episode, show notes, and other information at shekinacommunity.com.
Hello, this is Rowan.
Hi, this is Ray.
This is week 7 of the podcast. We are so stoked to be here.
It's Thursday, October 18th as we record this.
We are back in Pai. We had an amazing time down at the gathering where we were recording last week. And since then, we are back in town. We've had an amazing community lunch. Huge. We could hardly find places to walk in our little building. It was so packed.
We have this thing, it's called a sala. It's like an open gazebo type space, an octagon. It's pretty big, normally big enough, mostly.
Not this week.
But it was hard to find a place to step. That's how many bodies were crammed in there.
We think we had about 85, maybe 90 people.
Yeah.
Crazy. It was so lovely.
Which is kind of like maybe closer to Christmas.
Yep.
There's just a lot of people because a lot of people came after the gathering and then season's starting back up here. So, yeah. What have you been up to, Ro?
Well, let me tell you, I've been at a couple of the biggest meditations ever this week. It was awesome. We had 25 people at both our meditations this week, which was the biggest ever. The biggest by far. Yeah. We have a dear friend visiting us from Germany. His name's Sarah, and she guides dance meditation. And
which is amazing.
Yeah, it's so great. She is really masterful at guiding, and she shared a beautiful meditation with us yesterday with 24 people. Insane. It was so lovely.
That must have been, you must have been dancing in a smaller space than normal.
We basically were. Yeah, we had to be very mindful of not whacking into each other as we moved around, but it was beautiful.
Actually, Kenya did a painting based on that meditation. Maybe I'll attach it to the blog.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Pasta? This podcast.
You hungry? Thinking about pasta.
Podcast.
Oh, and Devotion Circle is beautiful. Tell me about Devotion Circle this week.
Well, Leaf guided a really beautiful devotion circle based on the idea of the dark night of the soul, which St. John of the Cross was the first one to write about the dark night of the soul. And it's a time when you're kind of in a desert place and you're looking around and you can't find consolation, like something sometimes something big has happened or something has jarred you in such a way. And so she guided a devotion circle where we listened to music and we talked in small groups about times that we've been in that were like that, and it was very beautiful.
Yeah, we were encouraged at the end. Something I really enjoyed was to pray without words at the end. So some of us played wordless music or danced. I think some people were journaling. It was really, really beautiful.
Yeah, it was good. What else? It's just been packed. Like, we've had all these volunteers around, so we did a bunch of weeding today and yesterday. I think I wasn't even there. Did you do weeding yesterday?
I wasn't there either, but some people did some weeding, definitely.
People told me, we went and helped in the garden today, so that's what I assume was happening. And you got a bit too much sun today?
I know, I was a bit of a dummy. I was out in the sun all day and got a little bit red on my shoulders. Yeah. I was just so enthusiastic to get into the garden beds and pull out all the weeds. We're going to put in... Did you put in new seeds today?
I did. I put in new seeds today.
What'd you get?
I put in some lettuce, like oak lettuce kind of, and some celery and some zucchini. We'll see if those come up. I haven't been successful with zucchini so far, but
At home, I've got to the point where there's flowers and then teeny tiny fruit and pretty unsatisfying.
It's like the easiest thing to grow in the world in the West, but it's tropically not as easy. So we planted and weeded and
we did some farewelling as well already. So we've had all these people here for the gathering. A whole bunch of them have come up to Pai. Some of them have been our dear, dear friends. Some for a long time, some dear, dear friends just for a short time, but have grown very close. So the last few days we've also been doing lots of farewells, which is not the most fun thing in the world.
No, it's sad. And today is excellent because we managed to record a meditation from Miri.
Yes.
And she's part of another community, another Shekina community, and she had to leave yesterday, but we have her voice on meditation for you today.
Yeah. So let me tell you that this podcast is supported by you.
You.
Because this podcast is about meditation, we wanted to keep it really ad-free forever. Our beloved patrons over at patreon.com support us for as little as $1 a month. And patrons who pledge as little as $3 a month get extra audio every month. If you want to support us, you can find us at patreon.com/Shekina Meditation Podcast.
And supporting this podcast does more than just support a podcast. It helps to keep our Shekina communities running and free for travelers and spiritual seekers, and it helps us to know that you appreciate what we're doing in putting this podcast into the world and in creating our communities. So thank you, patrons. You are the best.
Woo-hoo.
And you make us want to dance a wild jig of delight.
That is exactly right.
It's almost what happened last night because I was playing a little bit of Irish whistle.
Yes.
And Sarah nearly started to jig, but she didn't. She kind of did a sitting jig.
It was almost there.
This one would be really with the feet.
Yeah, kicking them up high.
That's how much you make us full of delight.
Thank you, patrons. I love you.
Yes.
Today's meditation, as we mentioned, is an imagination meditation with Miri, recorded live at the river gathering. It's a little shorter than usual because she had less time to guide, and she has a lovely accent that you're going to enjoy listening to.
It will have 3 parts, the meditation. And in the first, Miri will guide you through getting ready for meditation. During the second part, use all your imagination to be a part of the story somehow, in whatever way you choose. Just a fly on the wall, or a character in the story, or whatever you choose. And with the third part, you can either journal your experience or share in a small group. A good sharing circle is open, lovely, welcoming for people's ideas, and it's good to remember not to critique or correct one another in a sharing circle.
Let's begin.
Christ-centered meditation is about creating space in our minds. It is a time of quiet that allows room for the Spirit of God to speak to our hearts. We learn to master our thoughts and come back to a place of focus, again and again, to be quiet before the divine presence of God, and to spend time with a single thought or idea. Meditation is a Christian practice like prayer or study, worship or fasting. As with all practices, there are easy and hard days. But as we bring this practice into our lives, we grow with it over time. We learn to love this spacious place with God, who invites us to grow in the silence with Him. If you find that you are distracted and need to keep drawing yourself back to your focus, do not be discouraged. This is the muscle that you are exercising with meditation, and I believe that this act of refocusing is the heart of meditation. Be kind and encouraging to yourself as you practice. You can follow along alone or with others in a quiet place, outdoors or at home. A quick warning: we don't recommend meditating while driving. Be safe.
This meditation is an imagination meditation, which I will use, or we will go into the situation of Jesus when He was living on earth as man, God in human form, and walking around and being with His disciples. It is based on the scripture from Luke 8, 22 to 25. And this form of imagination is to be part in that story. So it's like kind of making a film maybe, or making something. You can go really into I have experienced people going into the creativity of creating a comic or creating the situation in the future. So it's not about imagining how it was in that times, but to say what comes up when I start to kind of imagine the situation. And it's this questioning, where am I in this? And what does God, I want to just be open to God to hear what he says to me. So it does go back to Ignatius from Loyola, who was a Spanish warrior in 1500. And he was this fighter, and he got injured, and he was lying there for 3 months, and he started to read the Bible and started to imagine the stories. And suddenly he experienced God as the truth. And he was then the founder of the Jesuits. So that's kind of where it goes back to, but I have no idea how he was guiding this meditation. So it's kind of, this is the way we shaped it at Shekina with this imagination meditation. So I invite you to that. There will be 3 parts. The first part is to prepare, just to arrive. The second part is I will guide you with little questions, and then you're allowed to use everything. The noises around you, your senses, your emotions, your creativity. And in between, I will read the passage from the Bible. So it's really the words of the Bible with some questions and a lot of silence in between. So that's going to happen. And the third part is I will take a stone or a flower and I'll pass it around, and whoever wants to share what happened in this moment is welcome to share or to keep silent. And I will explain it a little bit later on. So let's enter into, and if you wish, it's not about your position. You can even lie down. For some people it helps to lie down. For some people it helps also to move in between. So feel free to do that also. But start to just, if you wish, you can close your eyes. It can help. Just find a comfortable place for your body. We are here together, listening to the truth, looking at the life of Jesus Christ, living on this earth, a God of relationship, a God of truth. So, just take deep breaths in your own rhythm. It can be slow, it can be fast, just as it feels comfortable to you. And as you breathe in and out, just be aware of the fact that breath is this amazing gift of God who gives life through, who gives the possibility to live with this breathing in and out. It's God's gift to us. And if you feel, I'm still sitting in not such a good place, then just move your body and just breathe in and out in your own rhythm. Take a moment to listen to the sounds around. We are not in a quiet place. There is all different kinds of sounds. Just see what there is in all the different shades and more quiet ones, more loud ones. And let them be part of this meditation. Don't push them away. Just let them be part. And it can happen that in this moment where we are quiet, that we feel restless in our minds, that suddenly questions pop up or talks we had in this busy time of meeting each other. These are your thoughts, they belong to you, there's nothing to deny. You can make a decision if you want for this moment to just take one thought after the other, place them in a beautiful bowl in front of you, maybe cover that bowl and put it beside, knowing that God will give back to you what is important to go on in life. It's just a help to lay down. Just take a moment. If there is something going on, take it, put it down. And as a physical sign, if you feel to do that, you can open your hands as a symbol of, God, I am here with empty hands. Fill my hands with your presence. Holy Spirit, let me understand more of you. Meet me. And as a reminder, use all your creativity God has given. It can be crazy creativity. It can be maybe also even more, maybe you don't even have that images, but you sense the situation. We are all different. So use your senses, smell, listening, seeing with your inner eye, tasting even, to enter into the situation with Jesus Christ, who lived and who is here now. And as a help, in your imagination, get up from this place, start walking down the steps, walking down the path, and walk out of this property. And as you start walking, you will enter more into a landscape. Keep on walking. Just imagine how that landscape looks like for a moment. How is the path you're walking on? Keep on walking, and in the distance there is a lake. Walk towards that lake. How does this lake look like? Big, small, wild? It's up to you. Just look at it. Look at the surrounding. There are boats at the lake. How do these boats look like? And the closer you get, there's a crowd of people. In the center, there's Jesus. Let the scene become alive in front of your eye. Look at the people. Look at Jesus. How many are there? Where do you find yourself in that crowd? Who is this Jesus for you as you look at him? Do you have any questions? Towards Jesus. Around Jesus there are men which are closer to him, disciples. Look at them. Jesus and his disciples got into a boat. Jesus and his disciples got into a boat. Observe, how does Jesus enter the boat? Who is joining? Where are you? Jesus told them, "Let's cross to the other side of the lake." So they started out. How is the atmosphere in the boat? Are you in the boat? Where do you sit? Where are you? Let the scene become alive. Now, as they were sailing, Jesus fell asleep. Look at Jesus as he is sleeping. What do you see? What do you feel? A violent storm swept over the lake, and they were taking on water and were in great danger. A violent storm swept over the lake, and they were taking on water and were in great danger. Where are you? What is happening? What do you do? A violent storm swept over the lake, and they were taking on water and were in great danger. What do you feel in this situation? Where are you? Are you in the scene? Are you an observer? His disciples went to Jesus, woke him up, and kept telling him, "Master, Master, we are going to die." His disciples went to him, woke Jesus up, and kept telling him, "Master, Master, we are going to die." Jesus got up. Jesus stood up. Where are you? Jesus got up and rebuked the wind and the raging waves. Jesus got up and rebuked the wind and the raging waves. Suddenly, the storm stopped and all was quiet. Suddenly, the storm stopped and all was quiet. Then Jesus asked his disciple, "Where's your faith?" Then Jesus asked the disciple, "Where's your faith?" Frightened and amazed, they asked one another, "Who is this man? He commands even winds and the water, and they obey him." Frightened and amazed, they asked one another, "Who is this man? He commands even the winds and the water, and they obey him." What do you feel? Where are you? Stay in your emotions, the questions, your picture, feeling. Stay in this. I will read one more time the situation and just ask yourself again, where am I? Might even change. Who am I? Am I observing? Am I in the middle? Am I a disciple? Am I Jesus? Who are you in this? Jesus and his disciples got into a boat. He told them, "Let's cross to the other side of the lake." So they started out. Now, as they were sailing, Jesus fell asleep. A violent storm swept over the lake, and they were taking on water and were in great danger. So his disciples went to him, woke him up, and kept telling him, "Master, Master, we are going to die." Jesus got up and rebuked the wind and the raging waves. Suddenly the storm stopped and all was calm. Then Jesus asked his disciples, "Where is your faith?" Frightened and amazed, they asked one another, "Who is this man? He commands even the winds and the water, and they obey him." Slowly take your time to walk back all the way, keeping the image, feeling what came up in your heart, keeping that as a treasure, walking back into the property, up the stairs, back to this place. When you're ready, open your eyes.
When you are ready, take a few deep breaths and begin your time of journaling or sharing with others. Thank you for joining today. There will be a new guided meditation each week, so don't forget to subscribe on iTunes or sign up for our newsletter to get podcasts delivered to your inbox at www.shekinacommunity.com/podcast newsletter. Have a beautiful week. Blessings to you.